All right, let's get right into it. Something huge is happening in the world of real estate right now. A power struggle that's been simmering for years has finally boiled over. And believe it or not, it all comes down to that coming soon sign you see on front lawns. But trust me, this is way, way bigger than just a sign. I mean, just look at this quote. The ground just shook. When a top industry expert says something like that, you know it's not just another Tuesday. Something foundational, a real pillar of the industry, is starting to crumble. So the big question is, what's causing these tremors?
Okay, so first things first, what is a coming soon listing? It's pretty simple, really. Think of it like a movie trailer for a house. It's a way to build up hype and interest before the property officially hits the main marketplace, which is called the MLS. And what was once just a clever little marketing trick, well, it's now become the epicenter of this massive power struggle.
To really get what's happening, you need to know who's in the ring. And this isn't just a simple fight between two companies. Nope, this is a classic old guard versus the new guard showdown. We're talking about the traditional way of doing things versus a brand new, super powerful team-up of tech giants and huge real estate firms. So, in one corner, you've got the MLS, the multiple listing service. For like forever, they've been the gatekeepers. It's the centralized, rule-based system where pretty much every house for sale ends up. But in the other corner, you have the challengers. And this is a powerful combo. The giant national brokerages and the websites we all scroll through every day. These guys are all about tech, they have massive public influence, and they are absolutely ready to shake things up. And I mean, just look at these names. We're talking about the heavyweights. Zillow, Redfin, Compass, Keller Williams. These are companies that are normally at each other's throats, fighting for every single client. But on the coming soon issue, they've suddenly formed this unexpected and incredibly powerful alliance. So you're probably wondering, how did this all blow up so fast? It feels sudden, but this has actually been building for a while. It's a story of some subtle rule changes and a few really bold chess moves that basically set up a line of dominoes, just waiting for the first one to be pushed. Okay, let's follow the dominoes. It really starts back in 2020. The National Association of Realtors, NAR, they tried to pull everything back into the MLS with a new policy. But then they tweaked the rules again, giving sellers more freedom, and that quietly cracked the door open. The real explosion, though, that happened in February 2026. Compass and Redfin made a deal to share their coming soon listings directly. That was it. That was the first domino to fall, and once it did, boom, everyone else followed, one after another in a matter of weeks. And this quote from Keller Williams' Jason Abrams just nails it. The game completely changed once these listings hit the big public websites. You see, coming soon used to be kind of an inside secret, a little heads up for other agents. But now they're front and center on Zillow and Redfin for anyone and everyone to see. It's not an insider tool anymore. It's a full-blown public marketing blitz. So all of this leads to a huge and honestly a kind of scary question for the industry. If the biggest companies can just create their own marketplace on the biggest websites, do they even need the MLS anymore? Is the old gatekeeper about to become obsolete? And that right there, that is the question sending absolute shockwaves through the real estate world. You have to ask, how long is it going to be before these giant companies decide to just, cut out the middleman and feed their listings straight to the portals? Why would they keep playing by the MLS's rules if they don't have to? What's really fascinating here is that the challengers aren't all on the same page about the end game. They've split into two main camps. You've got the dismantle the system group, with Compass and Redfin leading the charge. They're pretty clear they want to tear down any rules that limit how a seller can market their home. But then you have the adapt or die camp, with folks like EXP and Keller Williams. They're not necessarily anti-MLS, they just think the MLS needs to get with the times, and fast. Yeah, check out what the CEO of EXP Realty, Leo Paraha, said. He basically lays it out, look, we're only doing this because we have to. He's saying if the MLS systems would just include these coming soon listings in their data feeds for everyone, this whole thing would be a non-issue. So the message they're sending to the MLSs is incredibly clear. Evolve with us, or we'll leave you behind. Okay, so we've gone through the corporate drama, the power plays, all that stuff, but let's bring it back to what really matters. What does this whole shakeup mean for you? For anyone out there who's thinking about buying or selling a home? Well, if you ask the companies driving this change, they'll tell you this is a huge win for consumers. Their argument is that it gives sellers a ton more flexibility in how they market their homes. And for buyers,
You get a sneak peek at properties before they hit the open market. The big buzzword they're using is reducing friction, basically making the whole process easier and smoother for everybody. So let's just cut to the chase here. Here's the crucial point. Whatever their reasons are, what's happening is a massive consolidation of power. We are literally watching a new power structure get built in real time. We're shifting away from a system of hundreds of different local MLSs to one where a handful of huge national corporations and portals get to call the shots and set the rules. But there's a final twist in this story, and it's a big one. An analyst named Steve Murray brought up a fascinating point about unintended consequences. By breaking NAR's hold over the industry, these huge companies might have just painted a massive target on their own backs. Why? Because it's a heck of a lot easier for the federal government to regulate a few giant corporations than it is to regulate hundreds of smaller local organizations. And that leaves us with this one final, really provocative question. In their quest to break the old system and grab more control, have these new power players accidentally rolled out the red carpet for an even more powerful force? Federal regulators? The ground has definitely shaken, but the aftershocks? Well, they could end up being even bigger than the earthquake itself.